Hey everybody, how is it going today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to go over NLST XELA ATOS Therapeutics, SC WORX Corporation, and more. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have been trading and investing for over 20 years, and in each video I will show you trades that I see setting up right now. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. And also, if you would like to support the channel and become part of our Patreon community and see what we are buying and selling in real time for a measly $10 a month, that link is in the description. All right, let's get into these charts. I had a bunch of questions and comments, so I'm going to try to lump them all into this video. I'm going to try to move a little fast so this video doesn't take too long. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. But if I, don't answer your question completely, please just leave it again. I'll try to be more specific in the next video. Oh, but before I get started, if you don't mind, liking the smash button, hitting the like button, whatever they say, and helping me out with the YouTube algorithm, I would really appreciate it. But please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. All of this is just my opinion. Please make all of your own trading decisions. Now, the first question was from Pat W., and they're asking about NLST. I believe they're asking for a price target. I'm assuming because it is rolling over today. It is down about 8.25% at the moment. I haven't talked about NLST since I shaved some off right around $8.35. Of course, looking at this chart in hindsight, I probably should have sold it all, but unfortunately, that's the easy part. We have to live on this side of the chart right now. But let's go intraday and see if we can find some levels where we could get a bounce in NLST if the bottom isn't in already. Let's go to the 15-minute chart and back it out a little bit. I would say probably the area that has the most support right now coming down to is going to be this area right around here. Let me adjust it just a tiny bit. This is the area that we have the most touches and has the most concrete support. So this has the most pivot points and the most touches. I'll try to put the circle on all of them right now. Plus you have this flat concrete support level right here. So you see that this support level kind of coincides with this block that I have drawn on here. I just try to find the area with the most touches because that's the area that usually has the strongest range of support. So I would say, and I like to do it like right in the middle. I don't need to catch this very bottom or get too aggressive and try to grab the top. I usually just try to get in the middle. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but if I had to call it, I would say, I don't know, maybe 615 to 620 a share should be some pretty decent support. I think if NLST has a big fast move down into this price area, kind of like it did back here on the, what was it, 24th, 23rd, I think there's a strong possibility you can get a quick reaction move up. So I'll probably will be watching this area to either buy those shares back. It all depends on the price action, but to either buy those shares back and then possibly buy some more to maybe capitalize on this potential bounce that it could have here. I mean, it all depends on how it is fading down into this price area, but I think this is the strongest area of support. I don't know, call it 615, 620 a share. Now let's get this, well, let me leave that here. Let's go back to the daily. I'm going to throw a fib grid on here and see if that coincides with any of the major fib levels. And as you can see that the halfway, the 50% retracement area in this fib grid is right in the middle of that support area. So that's just another reason why I would think there's probably going to be some decent support at right around 620 a share or so. So, Pat, that is where I would probably be looking to buy some. And after seeing all these support areas coinciding with that area, I think I am going to probably buy some. It all depends on that price area, how it comes down into it. But that's the area that I think would be the strongest area of support on NLST. And I know a lot of people are in this stock because of the lawsuit with Google. And a lot of you guys are not really worried about selling this thing or trading it, but once you have a stock that goes up like this, even though it has a great story, behind it, there's going to be ebbs and flows. I mean, you have to expect these big sell-offs, you know, and so when these big sell-offs happen, just kind of watch the price action, and it'll let you know if it's going to be severe, or, you know, if this is going to be the top, or if this is just a normal zig and zag in the market. And there's nothing wrong with, at least as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong, even if you are in a stock for the long term, playing those zigs and zags. When things get too overdone to the upside, it's not a crime to take a little off the table. I mean, unless, you know, you're thinking about taxes and stuff like that. But I have this one in my IRA, so I don't have to worry about taxes at the moment. That's why I like to play the ebbs and flows on these type of stocks. But I'm not worried about this rollover at all, because the stocks can't go straight up, even though this one was looking like it was probably going to. But all stocks, you know, they move up and down. They're roller coasters, so don't get worried about this pullback unless you start seeing some real deterioration in it. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is XELA, and I've traded this one a few times, and probably getting comments on this one just because of this pattern is starting to move higher. Very constructive pattern. Nice V-shaped bottom off of right around $2.25. Moved up and then started to consolidate and then broke above that. That must have been a fantastic looking chart. Let me go to the 15-minute chart on that one. But yeah, you can definitely see that bounce that it had, then a nice consolidation, moving all the way to about the second, and then had a blast move above it. And ever since then, it looks like it is just starting to move higher. But man, when you back out on this, you can definitely see how beautiful that rounded bottom formation is looking. And this is exactly what you want to look for if you're trying to play one of those swing lows. Just wait for the stock to carve out a bottom on an intraday chart. I like to use the 15-minute chart. Some people like to use the 5. Some people like to use the hourly. Just get comfortable with either time frame, and you'll start to notice how these stocks move around on each one. But XELA is definitely looking really good at the moment. Let me jump back to the daily real quick. This thing pulled back all the way to almost the 21-period exponential moving average, but it's having a nice reversal candle right now. So as long as it holds above that 8-period exponential moving average, I think we got a great chance that this thing might start trucking back up. So XELA is looking really good at the moment. Next one I want to talk about is ATOS Therapeutics. I'm assuming all the comments came in because this thing was starting to carve out a bottom right at that 200-period simple moving average, and this is looking really good. I wish I would have seen this one when it was finding support at that 200, but right now it looks like it's you know, compressing right up against that 8-period exponential moving average. In fact, let's go to the 15-minute chart. Let me back it out a little bit. Yeah, you can definitely see how beautiful this triangle consolidation pattern is, and this is butting its head right up against that 8-period exponential moving average, and this thing is really starting to compress. So this one is starting to look like, you know, one of those Coke bottles that has been shaken up and you're just waiting to remove that cap so it just explodes higher. But nice volume coming off of this rounded bottom. Beautiful triangle consolidation. They used to call these things like lava bubbles back in the day when I first started day trading back in you know, the mid-2000s. I remember they used to refer to these things as lava bubbles. But just a very nice bottoming pattern in ATOS Therapeutics. I'm going to keep my eye on this one. If this thing breaks above $3.50 a share or so, I might have to jump back in this one, because this one could have a lot more room to the upside. If we go back to the daily chart, yeah, we can see this thing should be able to make it to $4 quite easily, because this is where the next layer of resistance is. It's going to be right up near that 21-period exponential moving average, and that's where it consolidated the last time. So definitely a pretty decent move up if you want to play a swing trade, or this could be the bottom. This thing has come all the way back down from almost $10 a share. So a move back up to right around $5, right where this 50-period simple moving averages wouldn't be that big of a retracement back up, and that's a pretty decent percentage move from here. So ATOS Therapeutics is looking really good at the moment. The next one I had a question on was WORX. I day traded this one, and man, I guess after looking at this one, I should have held on to this one, because this one is taking off. But look right here. I mean, just a beautiful bottoming formation on the 50-period simple moving average. When you start seeing the stock goes sideways like this on a major moving average after a big pullback, I mean, just go intraday and wait for this thing to break resistance. Let's let me get this thing off the chart, and let's go intraday on the 15-minute chart. But basically, this thing was coming all the way down to that 50-period simple moving average, so you could draw a box right here and just kind of wait for it to break through that box. And once it breaks through it, you can either jump in there or you can wait for it to come back down and touch it, because they'll usually find support at it before it starts making its next move up. And that's exactly what's going on with WORX. And this one is really starting to tighten up into a nice flag. So we could be starting to really enter into the acceleration part of the trend. Looking at that daily chart, if I go back to that, it's a little extended. I usually get worried when I buy a stock that's up like this. It tends to... yeah, there's just a higher chance of a reversal, so I try to get into these when they pull back towards these moving averages, but definitely a beautiful looking chart on WORX. And actually, my buddy Joe was talking about in the Patreon about a couple of these oil stocks, and this is a pretty good illustration of one that's in the works right now. I'm watching LPI and I'm watching PVAC. I haven't entered into these. I think he might have already entered into them. But you can see these stocks coming down sharply, especially LPI, coming down sharply into a major trend line. Plus, we have a support area right here as well. So, I mean, there you got this area that has support, and you have a long-term trend line that this thing is pulling down into. It is way oversold, so this is an area where I love to look for bounces. I'm just kind of waiting for this thing to confirm that it's going to find some support at this trend line and hopefully jump back above that 8-period exponential moving average. But if we go to the 15-minute chart in this one and back it up just a little bit, you can certainly see how the trend was really accelerating to the downside, and now it is starting to taper off a bit. So this is telling you that selling is starting to subside. The buyers are starting to get back in control. And if you zoom in a little bit, you just want to kind of wait and for it to break this consolidation area right here, jump above that consolidation and confirm that it has put in a bottom, and then you can catch the next part of this trend. But if we go back to the daily chart, let me see if I can get that out of here without messing up too bad. You can see a bounce back up to this 50-period simple moving average right around $66 a share is not out of the realm of possibility. That isn't that big of a retracement back up, and that's a pretty decent move from, right now it's at $47 a share, so a move up to $66 a share. And you also have this resistance area right here. So if this thing does end up carving out a bottom and starting to move higher, this will probably be the area for sure I would like to take some profits at, because you have resistance right here, plus you have that major moving average right there as well. So if LPI does end up breaking through that consolidation to the upside and stops me into the trade, then this is probably the area where I'm going to take at least most of it off, if not all of it, because that should be some pretty difficult to get through resistance. Okay everyone, that is all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions or comments on any of these stocks, or if you have any other ones you want me to take a look at, please leave it down there in the comments section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care everybody.